Today, we're going back to simpler times, back before Piggy meme review, back before Roblox drama, even back before Piggy suggestion review. Everybody, we are going back with a completely brand new, never thought of before idea. I'm reacting to my first Piggy theory. A shameless rip from Creekcraft. To give you a scale of just how old this video is, this video was recorded just as Metro was released. Piggy Book 1, Chapter 7. Bet you're feeling like an old man now, going back to those days. This was also a time of theorizing. Since Piggy was so new, absolutely nobody knew what was going on. Like, there were notes everywhere describing little fragments of events, but no one had put two and two together. Not even Creekcraft. This video was made before Creekcraft ever even thought of making a video on Piggy. This makes me the OG, and with OG status comes some admittedly very awkward theories. So with that said, let's get into how Roblox Piggy will end. The chalkboard decoded. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering why I look like this, it's because I spent 4 hours today streaming Core Honey Magnate, because there's a huge competition going on. Please actually help me out. Check the link in the description. We're like 20,000 off the top YouTubers. Like, come on, we can do it. Let's go.
Piggy Chapter 7 was recently released, and with it, a whole bunch of information on the backstory of the virus.
Can I just first say, my audio sounds garbage back then. It was terrible back in the day. In fact, it may even still sound bad now. Maybe in 10 years from now, when I'm a floating head, I'll be doing another reaction video, and this will sound really bad as well. Anyway.
And on the elusive Mr. P.
Oh, the spooky Mr. P.
One of the biggest secrets from Chapter 5 has just been uncovered, and this
I was so proud of that.
Tell us just how Piggy is going to end.
I still think that's how it will end.
I'm going to be breaking up this video into 4 separate
obviously.
parts. The first one being the timeline, where we will recap the story.
Jeez, that is way too small. Nowadays, if I was to do that, it would be in massive letters at the top of the screen. I can't believe that.
We find around the chapters. The second part, I'll be giving you my predictions on what's going to be happening.
You can probably see how bad I am in the background footage as well.
Predictions. Just how is Piggy going to end?
I don't know what was in the room, so I had to check the rooms every time.
Finally, we'll talk about the big questions that are still unanswered and what they might.
What is going on in chat up there? What? Okay, I think what was happening is someone was private messaging this person and they were just responding in public. There was some crazy like friendship breakup going on. I think I vaguely remember that.
So be sure to stick around till the end of the video, because what we discover will shock you.
Whoa! I was going off a poke there. That was my original intention. I like this effect though.
The timeline starts not at Chapter 1, but far before it. Mr. P.
I use the game theory sort of background.
Who is very ill. This is most likely either his daughter or partner, as seen through the notes scattered around the metro.
Yeah, his daughter.
Mr. Potato rushes her to the hospital and begs them to make a cure. He funnels countless funds in a frantic rush.
I was close,
to make her
right?
feel better, and it seemingly works. However, the patient starts showing signs of aggression and is promptly locked away in isolation.
That could still be Mrs. P.
Not thrown off his search for the cure, continues his research with the help of the hospital staff, eventually advancing his medicine to the point of animal testing. Enter the pig family.
Okay, I say animal testing, but what animals exist in the Piggy universe that aren't like humanoids? Oh, wait, I think I actually made that pun on purpose.
Mother pig, father pig.
Hey, it's been like a year and a half.
All head in as voluntary test subjects. The majority of the family.
That's what happened.
For George Pig, who stayed home until they begin showing signs of aggression. And George Pig does not show up to school. He is declared missing. A missing persons poster is put out of the detail. Which
got changed, by the way. I'm still salty about that. I based a lot of my theories on this, because in the poster, it says when he was last seen, his eyes were red. So, I thought he was gonna be infected, but no, Minitoon pulled a whoopty on me.
It was already too late.
Yeah, it was already too late for George.
Big household. The rest of the pig family is out in town.
This took a lot of effort to edit, by the way.
Sets her sights on the station. Meanwhile, the sick patient, now transformed into Zombie Piggy, has escaped isolation and attacked everybody in the hospital before fleeing to the metro underneath.
Hey, that still could have happened.
Escaped the incident, begins the search for more test subjects, and eventually finds Doggy in the forest, where he is ambushed in his sleep.
So I don't know if that was Doggy or TSP anymore.
doesn't it sound like he's being forced to gulp down some sort of potion,
I'd
which
still
then
say he would.
clatters against the ground?
Yeah, currently what a lot of people are theorizing and what a lot of people say is that Doggy just decided to drink the random potion that was sitting next to him and that he wasn't forced to do anything. Like, oh yes, there's a bottle of G Fuel just on the ground half empty. I guess I'm gonna try some of that. Oh, I don't care if they've peed in it. Oh, go, bottoms up. And then he drinks it and then he dies. But like still, I still think that he was forced to drink it. There was the bark and then he drinks it and then it crashes. The only time he barks in chapter 4 is when he sees a player. So he saw something, he gulped it, and then he became infected. And like I say, that's either gonna be Mr. P or Willow. It's probably Willow knowing her connection to Doggy, but none of the later notes nor her actions seem to indicate that she knew where Doggy was. So that's kind of weird. It might have been Mr. P, but how did Mr. P know Doggy? That's a weird thing.
Finally, Mr. P continues to the school.
Strangely, this is pretty
meeting Bunny
accurate so
on the
far.
way. They meet the teacher, and everything is fine until he continues his evil experiments.
Oh,
perhaps
no.
spiking the teacher's coffee drink. After all, the teacher was fine when they got there.
Ooh.
This forces Mr.
Okay, that did turn out to be wrong. It did turn out that somehow the teacher got infected magically. I don't think it was Mr. P that gave it to her. I don't know what happened there. I think, personally, in the end, it's gonna end up being the insolence. This video was made before probably Minitoon even thought of the letter I, let alone the insolence. I think Minitoon's gonna end up explaining it using the insolence that trapped Bunny in there and probably got the teacher infected, rather than who we thought at the time was Mr. P. Just like the insolence traps all those people in the factory in book 2. Anyway.
Mr. P to flee, and Bunny becomes trapped. However, Mr. P needs his test subjects, so he calls the player to rescue them. Afterwards, it seems that he spikes us as we eventually fall
I
ill
paint
and
out
end
Mr.
up
P as a
being
really
carried to
big
the
bad
hospital.
guy here.
Now, you might be
when in the
wondering,
end, it was just like he felt bad for us and he thought we were gonna die, so he just gave us the potion anyway. Remember, at this point, Mr. P thought that we were sick. We were infected as well. The reason he gives Bunny the potion is because he doesn't want her to suffer.
How does he have so many potions to use?
I think.
Well, it seems Mr. P is quite well acquainted with
Spooky
the underground
sewer
tunnels of the
footage.
city. All of
I've actually
which
used that in a few
connect to the
videos.
experimental hospital. After leaving us on the hospital roof, Mr. P gives Bunny one of his special drinks, which Bunny takes. After
Special
all,
drinks.
Bunny trusted Mr. P, and that's where we're at now. We have to abandon Bunny in the metro as she falls ill under this strange illness that is infecting all the animals in the world of Piggy. Now, there's two reasons that Mr. P could have given Bunny this potion.
Yeah, let's hear it.
One, to stop us from following him, or two, to once again test the results of his experiment.
Kinda
Although this
close.
is less likely, because
What?
it seems he's had plenty of test subjects anyway.
No! You were so close! I was so
So
close!
chapter 8 is very up in the air at the moment, but it will most certainly involve the hunt for Mr. P, as foreshadowed
I
in the
called
chapter
it.
7 ending. And with the
Well, it's pretty
introduction of
obvious.
Zom Piggy and Skelly Piggy, I believe
Oh,
it
God.
won't be long before we see a graveyard map, or perhaps some more undead
Stop.
Piggies coming
Stop.
to life. Plenty of subjects for Mr. P to
Ah.
experiment on.
That's cringe. I put that line in at the end, that's why
Here
it
we
sounds
are,
different.
and I believe I know just how Piggy is going to end.
Whoa.
And it all comes down to the code on the chalkboard. After hours of trial and error
Oh,
on the
the-
code,
oh,
I
it
ended
looked
up just searching
terrible.
it up. And a few of the words matched an old Python project that was set for uni students.
Yeah, I was
the
really
Python
proud of that.
project was to create a basic decoder.
Actually, thinking about it, that could have been Minitoon's own university if he went to university and all. Was that a jumping spider?
Based off a few hints that the teacher gave.
Awfully
Those hints
sketchy.
revealed that the characters on the chalkboard coincided with the character 9 spaces to the
I
right.
feel like game
looping
theory
back
here.
if we get past Z. With that said, time to reveal the message.
Here we go.
I
This
think-
had never been seen before, by the way. Like, nobody knew what the chalkboard said at the time. I was the first one to do it. Well, there were a couple people that I ended up finding out had already decoded it, but it wasn't widespread at the time. No one had made a video, so I was proud as punch to be able to post this. And this is the very reason that I made this entire video, because I worked out what the chalkboard code was. I wasn't planning on doing a video until after I realized what the chalkboard code was, and I thought the best way to get it out there would be to make a video on it.
Feel everything I do. I can't control my actions. I can't help myself. My mind yells for help.
I hate listening
but
to my voice
body
like this.
does not agree. I wish
It's
the
too,
world
like,
would
business-like.
understand. This is massive. This message, presumably left by the
This
teacher,
is
reveals
massive.
they're still in there. Everyone infected. is still aware of what they're doing. This opens up so many possibilities of a happy ending at the very end. Because if their minds are still in there, we just need to get their body back under control. But it's likely not going to be easy.
I still
we
agree.
still need to find out just what Mr. P is doing. And we need to put a stop to everything that is plaguing this poor world.
I say we need to put a stop to everything that's plaguing this poor world and what Mr. P is doing, when it turns out Mr. P is still trying to find the cure. He just made a couple of dumb mistakes.
And with the hunt for Mr. P well underway, I believe it's likely that we've got 3 more chapters left in the Piggy story.
Oh yeah, I didn't know how many there'd be.
10 Piggy chapters in total. I believe Chapter 8 will involve us locating Mr. P's whereabouts. Chapter 9 will involve us actually reaching Mr. P, leaving us on a cliffhanger at the very end.
And the sort of
Chapter
idea
10
going
will
on.
involve us stopping Mr. P in a grand finale that will likely
there's a few
involve
chapters
a
out.
lot more mechanics and I think a lot more piggies than any previous chapter. However,
Hey, I was kind of right. In chapter 12, the finale, we had the ghost piggies as well as the Mr. P NPC piggy. So, yeah, I'll take my money now.
Piggy is still in alpha, meaning there will likely be far more content to come. A sequel, perhaps.
Oh, I called it. I called Piggy 2 before it
We're
was
gonna move
popular.
on to the final part of the video. The current...
Oh yeah, and by the way, a lot of you thought that was like some
We're
Minecraft YouTubers reference, the Piggy 2 Electric Boogaloo, but the Electric Boogaloo's been a meme ever since there was some movie titled Space Something 2 Electric Boogaloo. That's been a big popular meme, which I think the Minecraft competitive series or whatever series that Minecraft thing was took it from. So
Or perhaps.
I didn't steal from their Minecraft video, okay?
We're gonna move on.
Katy Berry 32.
To the final part of the video, the current questions we have from the story.
Oh, this'll be
Our 2
good.
main questions are both related to the hospital chapter. Number 1, just what is Mr. P's end goal? And why did he poison Bunny on purpose if he
Well-
wasn't even there to see how the experiment would go? And number 2, it's
kinda dumb of him,
biggest
but
question,
there's a reason.
assuming Mr. P tried to infect us with a potion during the school chapter, how did we recover? And why did we hallucinate Officer Doggy? Is it possible that we are immune? Could we...
That's interesting because that is still a question that is going on. Why did we feel sick in the hospital chapter? How? Did we get the coronavirus? It seemed to just be a plot point that was there until it wasn't and then it disappeared. And of course, seeing Doggy as well, because when we look at the memories in chapter 12 plan, they're all black and ghosty figures, but then Doggy seemed to not be a ghosty figure. So we were hallucinating then. But why were we sick? What was going on there?
Maybe the cure, everyone.
insolence?
Well, I believe that's a question for future chapters. Thank you so
A
much for
question
watching
that still isn't answered, old Devown. A question that still isn't answered.
the video. Let me know what your theories are in the comments below and tell me if I've missed anything.
Yep.
Well, until next time, sayonara, au revoir, goodbye.
Jeez, that was horrible. Oh, I'm cringing at that. How could you guys watch that? Sayonara, au revoir, goodbye. I'm a multilingual person. Like and subscribe to me. Ooh, dang. There was some minor hiccups, but I think this video still stands a test of time, which makes sense as to why it's still my #1 most viewed video, because it all went downhill from there. Like, really, the only thing I got kinda wrong was that it was Mr. P's wife, Mrs. Potato, not some, like, other sick piggy. I don't know how he even had a daughter that was a piggy. I think I thought the same thing when I was making this video, like, 1.5 years ago. But, all the rest still seems fine, like, especially the hospital chapter questions. I still don't think they've been properly answered. Like, you could call them the memory, but then why were we sick? And what happened there? And along with the chalkboard, there was kind of hint of a cure, but I guess you could pretty much tell that was going to happen during the story elements and the typical, like, zombies sort of plots. Let's just say Roblox isn't exactly a bastion for storyline subversion. But yeah, I'm actually still really, really proud of this video and everything I put into it. This took me about 2 full days of work for the editing and everything. I probably can't do it again because I upload daily now. Maybe for something crazy in future, like maybe for Piggy Book 3, but for now I'm gonna stick to my Piggy what ifs. But what do you think about my old video? Does it still stand the test of time to you, or do you think it should be crumpled up and thrown in the trash can for the cringe, especially that last line? Let me know in the description below. Also, please come and join the Devound faction in Honey Magnate battles. We're down and we need all the support we can get. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Sayonara, au revoir, goodbye. God, that's cringe.